Hello everyone and welcome to this little video where I'm going to kind of be discussing my thoughts on Brigitte and how she's currently implemented in the Overwatch meta, comp, and compositions, and so on and so forth. And also I'm going to be just adding my recommendations on how I would like to see her possibly changed or altered in the future with like a balance patch or something, because Overwatch heroes can constantly be changed, reworked, all that good stuff. Shout out to Mercy, rest in peace. But yeah, so let's just first get into my overall thoughts on Brigitte and give this video some structure. First and foremost, I think Brigitte is no longer as oppressive as she once was, and I think that is overall very healthy for the game, especially with their balance patch where they reduced her barrier shield down to 200. They reworked her armor repair pack, and they also added a lot of ultimate charge requirements for you to use rally. They increased it by like 24% or something, but quite a drastic ultimate charge increase. So it definitely brought her down, and I think the way she currently is okay. I do think that she might have been over-nerfed in some aspects, but I don't think she is as terrible as she could have been. They could have really just totally taken away her barrier shield, given it 100 health, stripped her armor from her base health, and just totally, deleted her if they wanted to. But I think they did an okay job in the overall sense. She's definitely more of a control hero, where she highly utilizes her whip shot and her shield bash, and I do enjoy that playstyle and angle to her. However, as I'm going to be discussing just in a few moments, I do think there are some quality of life features that she could receive just to improve her self-sustain. And self-sustain not in terms of healing, but in terms of not taking damage or as much as she could. I think Brigitte is a very skilled, or requires a lot of skill to play, especially because most of her healing comes from the ability to hit melee strikes, minus of course the whip shot, which can be used at ranged. But if you want to try to heal people, you either have to very strategically play with your armor packs, which you only get 3 charges of, or you have to rely on your team to push in far enough so you can actually start hitting people to trigger your passive healing Inspire. With this being said, I would recommend a few changes to increase her overall potential in case she wants to push ahead a little bit of her team, or maybe she sees an opening where she can get in and hit someone. But most of the times in this situation where I see someone out of place, I want to hit them, I'll go out front, move in front of a shield, and get a couple of hits off. However, with how low her barrier shield is, you often get bursted down quite quickly because you don't have a lot of barrier shield. So the first change that I would recommend is to increase her shield health to 300 up from 200, give it 100 more shields. Or in a sense 250. It was at 500, and they didn't just half it, they reduced it by a little more than half. They reduced it to 200. I think it would have been probably wiser just to half it to 250, but they took the extra, they went a little bit liberal and said nope, 200. In my opinion, giving her 300 barrier shield would probably cement her a little bit safer in terms of getting a couple picks to inspire or to trigger the Inspire, and or use it to shield some of the backline allies, just in case if there is a Widowmaker, a Hanzo, or a Soldier Baptiste firing. It might be more beneficial to shield some of your allies. And her barrier shield, as of right now, is quite weak and will be destroyed in 2 Hanzo arrow shots. So if I had it my way, I would increase her barrier shield to 300, just to give her that little extra defense. Um, in addition to my change to her barrier shield, or if not a change to a barrier shield, I would actually like to see her health increase to 275, giving her 25 more armor so that she can theoretically always have one of her armor packs on her, considering Brigitte cannot use an armor pack on herself. That is another thing. Brigitte's self-sustain can be kind of difficult and very reliant on Inspire. And, of course, they nerfed Brigitte's self-Inspire healing. So if they were to not change barrier, if I was in charge of course, hypothetical, I would increase her base armor to 75 instead of 50. In the perfect world, I would increase her barrier shield to 300 and give her 275. So those were her self-sustained changes that I would personally like to see. Just slightly minor, though I would argue that the barrier shield change would be a little bit more than minor, considering you could actively use it to protect your teammates.
Soldier left.
My final, wish for Brigitte in terms of her overall kit lies in the repair pack ammo. Actually, not ammo. Sorry. Repair pack armor duration. They both start with A's. Forgive me. But currently, when you throw your repair pack, if your allies at full health, it will start to tick armor on them, up to a maximum of 150 armor, I believe, or 75 armor. I probably should have reassured myself. But you'll get some armor, and it only lasts for 5 seconds. And the actual cooldown of her repair pack is 6 seconds. I would increase her... Thank you. Every time I'm making a video. Every time. It just happens. Motorcycles. But I would increase the duration of her armor on her allies, because currently it only lasts for 5 seconds. And increasing the duration, I think, would promote them, or promote the use to not be afraid to shoot a repair pack onto someone with slightly or close to full health, because it would last a bit longer in a fight. Or even to prepare for a fight, like throw it on a Genji while he dives in. I would increase the duration of the armor up to 6 or 7 seconds, just to give it a little bit more boost. And also, you would theoretically be able to keep an armor pack or armor on a character almost permanently if they continue to receive heals and do not fall below their normal health. Those are kind of just my quick tidbits on Brigitte. I think overall she's a very solid hero to play, but she isn't universal. She does suffer in some areas, which other supports, in my opinion, do not suffer from. You can pretty much play Mercy in any given situation. You can play Moira in any given situation. You can play Lucio in any given situation, given if you are a good Lucio with moderate speed and healing boosts. You can play Zen in almost any situation if you were getting kills, and you can definitely play Baptiste in almost any situation, and including Anna if you can get over the shield play. But with Brigitte, considering her limited range and her unique support playstyle of getting up and into a fight, she suffers the most, I believe. And I don't think that is necessarily fair, considering almost all the supports can be played in any given situation. Of course, depending if you're good on them or not. So, yeah, I think Brigitte is okay. I really enjoyed playing her, and I'm playing her more. And of course, when you play more, you learn how to compensate for situations where you might otherwise be in trouble. So, yeah, Brigitte, from a 1 to 10, I'd say she's currently 7.5, maybe 8. And I would just like to see a couple more improvements to her self-survivability, just so people could feel a little bit more comfortable playing her in a melee range. And yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Comment down below your thoughts on Brigitte if you've played her or any other supports. And those are my changes. You can comment on my changes as well. You can tell me they're grossly overpowered, underpowered, or just completely nonsensical. And subscribe for more videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye everyone!